We got some good interviews coming up. Hold on, let me flex with the gold chain real quick. Hold up. Y'all, I've been happy about this little chain. I've always wanted, y'all know I'm a hip hop artist, and the rappers, they be wearing the big chains and everything, and I'm like, yeah, I need one. And then, I got this little small one here, but it's real gold though. So a lot of people spend money on jewelry. They buy their jewelry from K Jewelers where they get scammed and all this stuff. And so, so for me, like I'm like, yeah, I got knowledge on, what's real and what's not. How much gold is in 14K? How much gold is in 16K? All that type of stuff. But anyways, we're gonna talk about the markets today. So tomorrow, I got an interview with David Morgan. I put a post up. If you have any questions, specific questions that you would like for me to ask the Silver Guru, be sure to drop those questions on the post, or you can leave them here as a comment in the chat. So be sure to leave those. We're going to talk to David Morgan about a few different topics, especially the metals market and the food shortages. So we're going to go deep into that. So I want to talk about the market, right? So we're seeing the market go through a drop. It's been happening since, last week. I actually lost some money on a SPY. I saw the SPY actually being plummeting last week, and I was like, oh, I think it's going to bounce back at some point. And so I tried to play a call option, lost money. But, you live and you learn. So it's been going down. I mean, today was another brutal day. I think at some point we will get some type of relief, a rally in the markets. I believe that we're going to get a bounce. And this is kind of one of the things that I'm learning and that I think a lot of people need to know is that markets don't just drop straight down. Like they usually have bounces along the way. So we saw Bitcoin go from about 37,000, 38,000, popped up to about 47,000, right? So during that time, you could have profited if you bought at 47,000, sold at 40, or if you bought at 37,000, sold at 47,000, right? And that's what I did. I took out some of my Bitcoin and I was like, okay, I'm selling it right now. And the point was that I wanted to buy back when it drops again, right? And so, and a lot of people short, they'll short Bitcoin and they will go ahead and bet against it. And pretty much when Bitcoin drops, they profit money and everything. So, so this is kind of how markets work. It's like you don't get just a straight down, drop. Like, I mean, COVID of 2020, I was kind of researching that and just how, the market dropped about, I think, 20% in one day or something like that. Something crazy. I think the record is 20% in one day. I think that was in the 1984 crash or 1989 crash, one of those. But, where it dropped a huge percentage in one day. And when you're looking at this stuff, it's like, okay, well, there's going to be a bounce back. People are going to come in and buy up the market. Institutions are going to come in and buy up, the stocks at cheap prices. So, for example, stocks like Twilio. I'm in a Twilio, TWLO. Twilio was at 180 bucks, popped up to like 230, something like that after earnings. Dropped down to 160, dropped all the way down to like 120, popped back up to 170 something. So if you would have got in at 120, and then sold it at 170, you would have profited, right? And so there's always going to be bounces in the market, whenever the market is going down. I think the ultimate trend is that the market is going to keep going down, especially as the Fed is tightening, especially as the Fed is, not pumping as much money in the system. They're not buying as many bonds. They're letting interest rates rise. They're raising the federal funds rate. They are sucking a lot of liquidity out of the system. I think that ultimately the markets will go down during those specific monetary environments. So when you're thinking about it, it's like, okay, well, we know the market's going to go down, but we also know that it's not going to go straight down unless there's some type of liquidity crisis where people need to liquidate all of their stocks and to get out of the market. And a lot of times those are the big money that comes in and the Fed and the hedge funds and such, where they're like, hey, we need liquidity. let's, max out the ATMs, let's sell our stocks and everything. Then you see huge drawdowns in the market. So those are like liquidity shocks, right? COVID-19, 2020. That's when the market did. But right now we're seeing a grind downward. You're seeing that a lot of these stocks that were overpriced, overvalued, are grinding lower. And when you see that the market has these times, like the last week has been a grind downward for a lot of the stocks, right? There's going to be a bounce, right? So if you get in today, for example, Bitcoin hit 39,000. I threw some money in because I'm expecting it to bounce. I have to look at the technicals and see where I think it's going to bounce to, but I know that it's going to bounce because it doesn't just drop straight down and just go down forever. I mean, me having that mindset, I've lost a lot of money in the market just thinking like, oh, it's going to go down forever. It's never going to go back up. I go back in my account, a week later, and I'm like, oh, dang, this stock then held its ground. Why did I sell that? Why did I sell off thinking that this was just going to go straight down? So, there's opportunities to make money in a market when the market is going down, and you have to expect that things are going to bounce right now. So right now I'm averaging in the Bitcoin. I'm not throwing a lot of money in it, right? You still have to manage your risk. I appreciate you. Go Flow, appreciate you. I think that was your channel name. The comment disappeared. But I'm not throwing, you have to manage your risk of how much you're willing to throw in. So, for me, I'm like, okay, well, let me throw in some money at 40K. Okay, it goes 39K. I'm gonna throw some more money in. All right, let me throw some at some of these other altcoins because I believe that, that the market is going to correct and it's gonna bounce. Yeah, so you did that with the uranium stocks, huge gains. Yep, so we're getting testimony in the comments from Go Flow. So be sure to go subscribe and check out Go Flow. Appreciate you for tuning in. So that's how the markets work. It doesn't just go straight down forever. Now, for me, I'm kind of a long-term investor and I also do the trading. I'm getting more into the trading because I can make quick profits that I can use today, that I can use tomorrow, that I can use in a short time frame. Then I also have my long positions where I'm like, okay, this is my long-term investing positions. And a lot of those long-term investing positions are macro things that I'm looking to play out. Like, for example, the uranium sector. There's some uranium stocks where I got in super cheap and I don't want to up my average cost per share, right? Dividend paying stocks. I hold those for a long time because I'm getting paid to actually hold those stocks. And I actually invest in stocks like tobacco stocks that actually pay you 6-7% dividend. Oil stocks that pay you 6%. So those are actual stocks that I'm willing to hold long term because I'm getting paid to hold those shares. And I usually hold those in my retirement account. But as far as like my day-to-day account, I'm getting more into the trading because there's money that you can make by just playing the short-term trends in the market. So we see that the market is falling. I believe sometime this week we're going to have some type of bounce back, assuming that we don't get any horrible news, that come out. But there's a lot of risk off in the market, and for me, I'm just trying to make a dollar, while a lot of fears is out here. So I believe that we're going to get a bounce at some point, and I'm going to make a little money. So hope this was helpful. Be sure to hit the like, subscribe. Appreciate y'all. What's up, Victor? Appreciate you tuning in today. I'm going to be on with David Morgan tomorrow. If y'all have any questions for that interview, be sure to comment them down below or comment them on the post that I posted. I got some more content coming this week. I had quite a few things I had to get done, but I got a lot of content to keep coming. Like, I have to keep these algorithms going and posting a video, 3 times a week and all this stuff to like really get my subscribers up. So I'm trying to hopefully hit 10K by the end of the year. We'll see how I do. Yep, so it seems like just a few weeks ago, UEC and UROY was hovering around 80 cents. Yeah, it's crazy just, how the uranium market just keeps moving. Like, it's so volatile. But, I actually There was one point where I was in at super cheap, and then they ran up very high, and I wish I would have took some profits. And I'm like, nah, it's gonna go up higher. Then it goes back down to like my cost per average, my cost per share. And I'm like, dang it, I should have took those profits and just, or whatnot. But you live and you learn. Um, Bought Cameco at $14, and now it's hovering close to 30. And so those are like some of the stocks where I'm like, like I'm just gonna hold on to these because I got in so early, where I'm just sitting on just profit, versus some of the other stocks that I got in kind of later. I can trade more of those. So notifications on my week. Appreciate y'all. Y'all stay blessed. Let's make some money in this market. Play the bounces. But let the market drop. Buy in, buy the fear, sell the greed, right? Buy fear, sell hysteria. Do the opposite of what the market's doing, right? But don't jump in too early, right? If you would have jumped in last week, like I did on the SPY, I lost money, right? I lost money trying to play the SPY, trying to be, sassy and all this stuff in the market. And it's like, oh, yeah, it's been oversold for like 4 days. It's not going to go down tomorrow, whatever, and lost money. So, kind of take your time and be sure to buy those dips so you can be able to profit. Also, so Sput was on CNBC today. Wow. I'm like, that's kind of alarming to me, because it's like CNBC, they just be touting stuff, but I don't think they got to the point where they're touting uranium like they're touting Bitcoin. So I think when they get to the point where they're touting uranium like they're touting Bitcoin, then I would probably be looking to liquidate some of my position. But, they are kind of on the energy sector somewhat. I think oil, with oil cooling down there, I don't think they're talking as much about it. I mean, I don't know. I don't watch CNBC as much, but I know for a minute, especially on Twitter, Doomberg and everybody was like, CNBC is Jim Cramer is bullish on energy, and everybody's like, dang it, should we run, blah, blah, blah. So, we'll see. But I think that uranium's got a long way to go before we get to the point where I'm looking to exit because CNBC is talking about them. I don't think we got a whole lot of, I don't think we have a whole lot of, hype around it yet. Well, I don't think we're getting to that Bitcoin type hype where everybody's talking about it at 60 freaking 2,000. When uranium gets to that level, say uranium gets to, 120, 130 a pound, whatever it gets to, and everybody's like, yeah, uranium. Oh yeah, nuclear energy. I'm investing in nuclear energy. Best believe I'm going to be liquidating some of my shares. So, yeah, that's how I'm looking at it. All right, y'all. I gotta go. Peace out, y'all. Appreciate y'all tuning in and everything. So let's stay getting these gains out here. All right, peace.